Um, it's another prophecy, isn't it? I believe. Now, you see, if you look through my videos, you have to look real far into that playlist of conceptual modeling. You see where I talk about the two type of man, the two type of human beings that they are. Those who see into people's minds and those whose minds are being seen into but can deduce that. So those who see into people's minds and those who are empaths, the other way, where they can detect that. I believe in the future, this definition is going to have legal tender and social acceptance. Yeah. I'm not sure how long it will be, probably another 40, 60 years or something like that. So anyway, that will make it 2079. So it's a prophecy. By 2079, they would have accepted that people can see into our minds, and they would have accepted that people can detect that. Now, in terms of thought broadcasting, yeah, how it works, it's a communication which is disturbing, because this is also similar to the way we communicate or talk to God. We talk by feelings. We talk through feelings. It's hard to prove. The first thing you need to prove is that people can see into your mind before you can prove that they can broadcast thought into there. Yeah. Thought for the purpose of manipulation. So basically, if I am looking at this lighter, and let's say someone is currently being cognizant of my consciousness, somebody is seeing into my consciousness. As I'm looking at that lighter, a few seconds later, they realize the lighter and they realize that it's through my mind. Then they start to feel scared. As an empath, I sense this feeling of dread. This is what drives us to have anxiety and panic attacks. Yeah, it's a feeling of dread that somebody else is having as they're seeing into your mind. Yeah, so then you start to feel this feeling of dread, and you deduce fear. So do you see how a thought has been broadcast? Then thoughts concerning fear start to emerge in your consciousness. Yeah, he hasn't actually broadcast a thought, he has broadcast a feeling, yeah, which has evoked thought. Yeah, so in this way they can manipulate you into changing your lifestyle, changing the way you are. Yeah, every time you let's say you want to go to the toilet, someone's singing in your mind, and they start to feel like they're embarrassed, or like, you know how you feel like squirmish, like if somebody feels like that, and then you start to detect like somebody's feeling embarrassed about it, and then you can get confused and start to think that it's you who's embarrassed about going to the toilet. There's people who don't even want to go to the toilet. Yeah, every time you think about eating, it starts to feel like he's put off, like, oh, so then you start to develop an eating disorder. Do you see the disorders they give us by projecting thoughts, yeah, by projecting feelings, yeah, into our minds? So where in the Bible it says an angel has no desire, yeah, so when he sees into your mind, he has no desire, so you never detect a feeling from him. But a human being has, a familiar spirit has. Yeah, so it's the same, the communication through feelings. Yeah, it's the same communication that this is how you talk to God, where you're standing there and you're in the middle of a supernatural event. Yeah, and you start to see nature behaving supernaturally. Yeah, when you think about getting up, something flies off. Yeah, flies off the table. So you're like, okay, there's a presence here that doesn't want me to get up. Do you see how you're feeling? I feel I want to get up, is reacted to. So now you're having a conversation. Those are the conversations we have with the supernatural, and the Almighty is supernatural too. So those are the feelings you have with the supernatural. Yeah, they conversations. Obviously, supernatural can't talk like we talk, innit? Yeah, so he has to talk through by trying to synchronize with your feelings. Yeah, and this is what people who see into your mind do. They try to talk to you by synchronizing your feelings to what they want. That's mind control. Yeah. So once they at the moment, because if a man like me, yeah, I do things deliberately to upset whoever's watching my mind. If I start to do something and I feel like somebody like I should be upset, like a feeling of, oh, I'm upset about that, I'm upset about that, yeah, I do it, and at the same time I'm looking at that, I'm sensing, part of my consciousness is paying attention to that feeling, just to do it, just to, and then if later on I go out in public and these people will go and complain to other people about what they saw in your head, yeah, so it's only a matter of time until those who care about them start lobbying the government and the system to recognize that they can see there. But then what will happen to the psychiatric community when those of us who get victimized by them come to them and say, there's voices in my head, there's people who see into my head, yeah, and do that. Now, once it's legally accepted that they can do that, what's going to happen to those people who can detect that they can do that? People who know that these people are seeing into your mind, yeah, because the system also has a duty to us. Not to mention the snitching aspect of things. Once you come out as someone who talks about what's in people's heads, you're straight snitch. Yeah. So what about people who need to do things in secret? The government themselves and the military. Yeah. You need to be wary of these people. These people go around singing in your head and they're talkative. Yeah. So they'll need protections for us against the manipulation through the way they feel and the way it affects us when they're in our heads. And they'll need protection. We'll need protection from them. They'll need protection from us, and society will need protection from them, because these are people who meddle into other people's business, yeah, and they talk other people's business when it don't concern them. All right. So I believe by 2079, yeah, they'll be forced to surface, because the people who care about them are not the brightest tools in the world. Yeah, they'll force society to accept that people can't see into your mind, but then they'll realize that these people who see into other people's minds victimize them, yeah, and then the law will start to be adjusted accordingly, yeah, because we have intellectual property and privacy protection. So the communication through feeling, yeah, this is why you don't allow people to be in your mind, so you leave it free, so that when the Almighty is talking to you, you can communicate straight without having somebody else fooling around with your feelings, yeah, because that's what you need to communicate with the Almighty.